The audio. My goodness, I keep forgetting to do the audio. I have an issue with my computer where I'm having to plug in a wireless keyboard, and I don't have enough USB ports for all the stuff that I have to plug in. So here we are. We have sound again. I hope so. All right, so have we got the sound back? Is the sound working? Can you hear me? Sound should be working. Okay, great. You can hear me. All right, so here we go. I'm so sorry, folks. But yeah, like I said, I have ordered something to fix that, to give me some more USB ports so we can get this going the right time the first time, every time. But I have to say, I'm trying to get better at this, and some of the things that I'm adding to the stream have kind of made some other things more complicated, so here I am forgetting things again. All right, folks, let's get into it. First, we're going to have some sort of negative or funny, interesting comments that we're going to hit first, and then we are going to go into the regular questions. And I'm going to answer for you guys some questions that I get through questions and comments and stuff on YouTube videos or emails or Facebook messages and things like that. We're going to answer those, and then we'll go into the live audience. And you guys, I'm so happy that you are here watching this live. It's so much fun to do this with you folks. We'll go through real quick and say hey to some folks. We got Eastrup, Chester Wolf, Talentless Colt, King Rex, Matt Cleveland, Kayak Adventures, DJ Kaiser, Ken Delaney. Just a lot of good folks in here. David Slocum, and I'm very happy to be here for you folks and hanging out. All right, so let's get into the first couple of comments, interesting or negative comments. Here we go. Mr. Ruggles. I don't know which video this was on, but he commented, "LOL, dork." Yeah, sometimes I am a dork, but that's okay. I'm sure everyone has a little bit of dork in them every once in a while. Next comment is not a negative one, but I thought it was interesting. It's from Andrew B. Andrew says, "If adventure was crazy, I'd be a complete idiot." I don't know if he's describing me or himself, but I think that's kind of a compliment, because yes, if adventure was crazy, I would be a complete idiot because I love me some adventure. All right, but I also I love to get things right, kind of like the audio and the mic, and I'm so sorry about that, folks, but we're good now, all right? I am going to add a note on my little outline here. It says, check mic, before we start next time. All right, so first question is from Zachary Estelle. Zachary says, "Hey Trip, I got good news. I'll be moving to the Florida Panhandle next month, so I should be able to come to Rocca Dock this year." That is awesome news. He says, "I've spent a lot of time in that region for vacation, so I've seen Cypress Springs and Choctawhatchee Bay and some of the beaches on Santa Rosa Island. What's the first place you recommend that I kayak in western Florida or South Alabama after I move?" This is a good question, and I have a few different options for you. I would suggest you go to Econfina Creek. There are several springs in kind of a short area that you can hit, and they're really pretty awesome, pretty magnificent. I did a video there where I spent a day there, and I actually, if y'all remember, I got the slack line out over the spring, and I couldn't even walk the slack line on that day for some reason. But it's a spot where I put in, and I paddled down and paddled back up. Didn't have to shuttle myself, so that is an option for you. And then, and that's also one of the paddling options at Rocca Dock that we have enjoyed so much. A lot of people have taken advantage of that spot. And then you can go also down to Cape Sandblast. That's a pretty unique spot because the ecosystem there is just so diverse. There's so much cool stuff to see, and you can go scalloping there. I don't know when you're moving in. You said in a month or so. Yeah, so scallop season will be starting sometime soon, and there's just a lot to see down that little bay and that sound. And I believe when the hurricane came through, Hurricane Michael, it opened up a pass on the island, because typically that's a long peninsula that kind of protects it. Well, the peninsula was kind of cut in half with a pass, and they now call that Eagle Pass. And so I haven't been there since it opened up, which is silly of me because I really want to go. But I've been told that the bay is just so beautiful and clear right now. But the pass is slowly closing up naturally, but I think that would be a really cool spot. And other than that, I would suggest if you can time it right, when you go to Phillips Inlet, sometimes they will open up that little coastal lake. They will dig a trench through the beach to drain the lake, and when that is open, that gets really clear. I've done a video there as well, and when when it's right, oh my goodness, it is magnificent. Like, I was lucky enough, it was right when I went on that video. So there are 3 good spots for you to try right there, Zachary. I hope you enjoy moving down here, and hope to see you at Rocca Dock. All right, next question is from Chris Hansen. Chris says, I don't know a lot about paddle boards. Can you recommend any good brands or boards? I can. Looking to expand my fleet a little. My old lady has been wanting one. I just worry about hauling gear. All right, well, you know what? Hauling gear can be a big concern, I guess. I know that whenever I was using my Kayak Kahuna, when it came to hauling gear, all right, the weight rating on that, I forget what it is. It's not a lot. And whenever you get on that board, it sits low in the water to begin with, and when you put some weight on it, it really sinks down a little bit more. It doesn't go underwater, of course, but it seems like your feet are always wet. When you tilt the board side to side, water comes onto the deck, and you're just always kind of wet. And so, I was kind of hesitant, or that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to venture out and try inflatable paddle boards. Well, I got an inflatable paddle board, and man, you guys, everything stays well above the water line. The weight capacity is pretty high, so I really like that. So it's an inflatable board is really good for hauling weight. Now we'll go real quick. I did pull up a page for you, Chris. Let's check this out. Let's go to my computer screen. Come on. Here we go. And let's pull this up. Now here I am at the iRocker paddleboard at their website, and here there's a lot of different boards and different price points with different options. So you start. Here's their first board, the bottom of the, or I wouldn't say the bottom of the barrel, but this is their most budget, most affordable board, the Nautical. For $350, you can get a pretty good paddleboard, and this comes with a 1-year warranty and a company you can actually call and contact. So this will be a good starter board, depending on what your budget is. Then if you want to step it up a little bit, you can go to this like the iRocker Cruiser 10.6 or the All Around 11. Both of these boards, when you step up to these, you get a few more things. You get the bungees on the back, you get a better pump, I believe, a better bag, and things like that. And then if you step up from that, you can go to, of course, the Blackfin Model XL that I suggest to a lot of people. It's at $919. When you step up to this, you get a better paddle, you get a better board, you get a better bag. It's really pretty cool. And then here you can actually see and compare the brands, and you compare the Nautical to the iRocker to the Blackfin. Right, you can see that they're built a little bit differently. The construction, this one has it's just double layer. This one's triple layer composite. This one is triple layer composite plus the carbon rail to give it stiffness. Then the paddle shaft construction changes a little bit. Then the pump changes a little bit. You get the good pump with either the iRocker or the Blackfin. Then the other differences, weight capacity. You see that's 240. And then once you go to an iRocker, they range between 370 and 435, and then it goes up to 450 to 485 on the Blackfins. That is a lot. Then with the Blackfin, you get the backpack with the wheel, you get extra bungees, plenty of handles, D-rings, attachments, and all the good stuff like that. So, if really and truly, if I could suggest a board, that is what I would suggest. You go over to iRocker and Blackfin, look around. They have free shipping, all that good stuff. And I know I talk a lot about that company, but they're not paying me to talk about their boards. They just really have good boards, good quality, and good prices. For that $350 board, you can't really beat that. You can get on Amazon and find some boards for that price, but you're not going to have a company you can call and talk to and say, hey, I didn't get my board, or hey, it came and was missing a fin, or hey, I need a warranty claim issue or something like that. That's why I do suggest Blackfin and iRocker so much, you guys. All right, so I hope that answers your question, Chris. All right, next question is from Diesel Rug. Diesel Rug says, hey, Trip, I like the video/software you're using. What software is it? All right, well, I'm not really sure. He commented on one of these reply lines to ask me that question. So I'm not sure if he's talking about, what software am I using to run this live stream and show all these things that I forget to show, like the logo. Wow, that's way up there. Or, little bell icon that I'm supposed to ask you if you want to be part of these live streams next time. Don't forget to click the bell to be notified. But it really has a lot of different things that you can do, and this is I know this looks really funky, but it's like looking through a mirror here. But this is called OBS, and it's a free it's a free software you can get that helps you manage live streams. And I've been using it, and it works pretty well. There's a lot of powerful things that I am learning about it. And now if you want to know how I actually edit my videos, for that I use a program called DaVinci Resolve, which is right here. Uh-oh, I didn't pull it up right when I started. Come on. This is going to be DaVinci Resolve. It doesn't look good on this screen for some reason, but this is another free program that I use, and it is extremely, extremely powerful, and it's free. And I have used a lot of different programs to edit my videos in the past. I have paid for some, like Sony Vegas or Corel Video Studio Pro. I used both of those for, I don't know, maybe 2 years a piece or so, and I always had issues with some files not being compatible or not wanting to upload right or something going wrong. And I was like, man, I'm paying money like $150 or $75 for these programs and they don't work. And then so I looked around and they're like, hey, here's a free one, DaVinci Resolve, give it a try. So I tried it, and what do you know, it worked better than all of them, and I have had zero issues with the program. It's really great. All right, so I hope that helps you out, Diesel Rug. All right, next question is from Loshkarev Mike. Loshkarev, he says, hello, awesome YouTube channel. Thank you, Losh. He said, just getting into supboarding and starting to plan a camping trip. For now, I'm paddling around the bay on my free flow paddleboard. Good times. Absolutely good times, man. How many miles there and back was your longest trip? And which inflatable boards are better, Blackfin or Red Paddle Co? Thanks for the feedback, Mike. Well, Mike, all right, I'll answer your first question, or your second question first. The Blackfin versus Red Paddle Co. You're gonna. All right, Red Paddle Co boards are a little more expensive. They're a little bit fancier. They have a little bit more, high-tech technology on them that makes them a little lighter, maybe a little stiffer. They may have a little better paddles. A few little accessories that are better. But really and truly, if I was just suggesting a board to you, I would suggest a iRocker or a Blackfin like we went over earlier, because they're just the best bang for your buck that you can get. All right, so now how many miles there and back was your longest trip? Well, let's go over here, go to one of the tools that I really love using, and that is Google Earth. Google Earth Pro. So you can see I have a lot of little lines and colors and stuff. These are tracks. These aren't even all of them that I have on here, but this shows some of them. Now he asked, what is the longest trip there and back that I've done? Probably, I don't really do many there and back trips, but maybe this one to Dog Island could have been a long one, where I went out here and I found these ships that were shipwrecked out here. See, this is what it looked like after the storm. But they're not showing up on here, but there were some ships out here that were shipwrecked. This is a really cool trip. But then I have done just some long trips in general. I came down here and I did a section of the Swanee River here with my buddy Dale from Southern Paddling Guide. Then another one, I came down, that's where I did the Santa Fe River on the Ginu. I covered a lot of miles on that in a short time. Then another one I did was on the Peace River. Where is it at? Is this the Peace River? I think, no, that's going to be the Swanee too. The Peace River down here somewhere. But I did a long, here it is. I did a long 3-day trip here or like a 5-day trip on the Peace River as an assistant guide with the Wounded Warriors. That could have been one of my longest paddling trips. Then here you can see where I did the Apalachicola River. That was like a 126 mile or 108 mile trip or something I did on the Ginu. And then I did the Choctawhatchee River, probably from about that blue mark all the way over here to Fort Walton Beach, Destin. That was about a 128 mile trip. So I have done some, and then of course I've done several all along this coastline area. You got Orange Beach, and you have your Robertson Island and Gulf Breeze and down to Destin. I've done a lot of trips just all throughout there. But so to answer your question, I don't really have a very long one that I did out and back. Mainly because, if I'm paddling, I'm going at a slow pace, and I generally, don't want to see or paddle by the same long stretch of something twice, right? I want to be seeing new stuff I haven't seen yet when I'm paddling down the river or through the bay. So I try not to do many loop trips if I can help it, but sometimes we just don't have that option of being able to be shuttled or something like that. So you need to do those loop trips. But I wouldn't suggest many there and back trips on rivers and creeks because it's just not that much fun paddling upstream, especially if you go for more than a mile or 2 miles, or let's say you go 10 miles. That would be no fun paddling upstream. So I would try and find some sort of shuttle service or someone to help you. And how can you do that? If you're going to an area you're not very familiar with, don't have someone to shuttle you, you can get on Facebook and find some groups, some paddling groups, and that's where you get all of your good information, whether there is a shuttle service locally available, or maybe there was someone in that club who could help you out. Because a lot of times, the paddling community, pretty good people, and they might be happy to help you out. All right, so you guys, I love getting your questions and comments. That is all the ones that I have in the queue for today. So now I'm going to go to the live stream, and I'm going to pick some out from the chat and answer their questions. All right, so you folks, if you have any more questions that you haven't put in the chat yet, go ahead and if you can, put a question mark at the start of your question so I know it's a question, and ask your question, and we will see what we get after. All right, let's see. First question looks like it's from Tauntless Colt. He says, I'm going to pimp out my kayak. Does anyone... My little boy's in there watching something laughing. He says, I'm going to pimp out my kayak. Does anyone know what I should use for screws? All right, Tauntless Colt. It depends on what kind of kayak you have, but don't count out rivets, right? Rivets work pretty well in kayaks, and if you see, a lot of times... kayaks will have stuff attached to them with rivets, but basically what you want to do is be sure that you seal whatever hole you make in that kayak as best you can. But also, if you want to, you can mimic some of the attachments that are already there. So don't necessarily be scared to take off something that's already screwed onto your kayak, some of the accessories that are already there, and just observe how that is attached. If you can take a screw out, that's somewhere where you can look on the inside and see what's behind that screw, and everything that makes up that actual part and that fastens it together. You can mimic that, and most of the time you'll be doing pretty good. Where can you find this stuff? A lot of times you can get on Amazon and look up kayak fastener kit or kayak accessory fasteners or something along that line, and you will probably find something very similar to what you have. All right, let's see here. Oh, here, Matt Cleveland, he said, check out Marine Master Accessories on Amazon. He just set up his Wilderness Systems North Star tandem kayak with their screws and bungee clip. Boom, there you go. All right, let's see here. And also King Rex, he suggested the Scotty nuts, Scotty well nuts. He hasn't used them personally, but there's some good videos on them. There you go. Yeah, one good thing to do is go to YouTube and just watch how people attach their accessories to their kayaks, and they're probably going to be making suggestions on the fasteners that they are using. All right, let's see here. Oh wow, Mike Lloyd said he's starting a 24-mile trip down the Santa Fe River on Monday in the morning. Awesome. I bet you can't wait. That is a great trip, Mike. Enjoy the Santa Fe. As long as it's not totally flooded. The lower it is, the prettier that joker is. Man, it was nice when I went. All right, let's see here. Oh, be sure you have a map with all the springs so you don't miss the springs, all right? All right, let's see here. All right, four-wheeler Jeeper, he says, what is the amount of water you pack with you for a multi-night trip where you can't filter it? And also, how do I pack it? Very good question, four-wheeler Jeep. Typically, I will bring about a gallon of water per day per person. So if I'm by myself, I'll just be sure I bring a gallon of water per day. So if I have a 3-day trip, I'll just have 3 gallons of water somewhere packed in different containers, just there with me. Now, sometimes, if I'm really trying to cut weight and stuff, I won't bring exactly that much. I'll bring a little bit less for the first day and the last day. It depends on what time I'm going to be getting on the water and what time I'm going to be getting off the water. Because sometimes I will kind of play it where I'll cut it close. So I might, chug a lot of water the morning of before I launch. And I always have a bottle right there with me that I will chug no matter what before I start off. And then, if I'm planning on coming back early, on that last day, I don't exactly need a gallon. But sometimes people say, you should always bring extra. Well, that can be true, but it depends on what type of environment you're operating in. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're going where there's not many people, okay, yeah, that might be smart to bring some extra. But I feel like if I'm in a place that's, there's somewhere I can get out and get help within, a few hours, I'm not really going to be at risk of dehydration and all that. So I don't bring a lot of, extra just in case stuff. And how do I pack it? A lot of times I will bring my smart water bottles or life water bottles. I have a lot of these that I reuse. Like I don't buy these regularly, but I'm always drinking out of these. And I will just fill these up just because I like the way they look. I like the artwork on them. And I will use those and just fill up however many I need. But then I will also have a clear bladder that I have. I believe it's a Nalgene brand, but you can get whatever Camelback. Well, no, I wouldn't say Camelback, but it's not an actual Camelback. It's like just a clear, wide mouth water bladder you can get. They work really well. And they're collapsible, so as you consume your water, you can collapse these things down so they're not taking up as much room in your dry bag or in your storage space. Which just as the trip goes on and you consume a gallon of water per day, that can really free up a lot of your storage, right? And just make it easier to get in and out of what you do have. All right, great question. Oh, Blake Hurst just said he's about to go take a trip dip. That's awesome. Enjoy it, Blake. All right, next question is from CL. You've discussed in some of your video the fasting diet. Can you expand on when you begin and end your fast each day? Do you ever slip in a snack? And what is your daily caloric intake? All right, I love these questions. All right, my daily caloric intake, I don't really know. I don't track my calories. That's one of the good things about fasting. You don't have to track your calories. And you really don't have to, eat perfectly to get the benefits of fasting, but if you do eat good during it, your benefits are just multiplied. All right, so when do I begin and end my fast on each day? Well, each of my days are different. Like yesterday, I stopped eating at 3 o'clock, and this morning I started eating at like 8:30. So what is that? That's like 17 and a half hours, I believe that is. That's a pretty long fast. But what I will be sure that I do, it's not. All right, it's whenever I start eating, I just have to stop eating, within my whatever my allotted time is. Typically, it's going to be 8 hours for most beginners. So let's say you start eating at lunchtime at noon o'clock, you must stop eating at 8 o'clock. All right, and then then you can't eat until the next day at 12. So you have to think about when you can't eat more than when you can eat. I guess it's just easier for me. But I always think, okay, when do I want to stop eating today so I can start eating tomorrow? But it doesn't really matter that much when you are and aren't eating. It's just that you be sure that you do not eat or do not consume a calorie for that 16-hour block of time. That's basically it. Do I ever sneak in a snack? Yes, I do. I will never, ever sneak in a snack during my fasting period where I'm not supposed to be consuming any calories. I can't tell you. No, I've never slipped there. I mean, that's pretty legit. I probably have never cheated on that. I mean, if I do, I just break my whole fast and just say, all right, I'm done. But I probably haven't ever really done that because there have been times when I go to a restaurant with my family. It's a freaking awesome restaurant, and I'm sitting there and I'm not eating. And everyone thinks I'm crazy. Or, I'll be at the fire station, they'll be cooking something awesome, or somebody will bring some food in and be like, hey, man, you want some of this? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. But, I am pretty... I have a pretty good, what am I thinking? I'm pretty good at holding myself back, right? But, I will slip in some not so healthy foods sometimes, but still, I do pretty darn good. All right, let's see here. Jerome says, hey, Trip, can't wait for Rocca Dock 2020. Same here, buddy. Same here. All right. Blake Hurst said, I was always told you need half your body weight in ounces of water. Let's see. Well, if I weigh 170, no, I think you probably might need a little more than that. But of course, Blake, that also depends on what's the weather like. Is it 90 degrees, 95 degrees with 90% humidity? You probably need a little bit extra. And I do adjust my water to that. What the weather's going to be like and how strenuous of an activity I will be taking on that day. So if it's going to be really hot and humid, and I'm going to be paddling or doing a lot of physical activity, I might bring some extra. All right, let's see. Next question is from Chester Wolf 213. Chester says, Trip, recently I got my first sit-on top kayak. It's an Ascend 128T. I've been on one of those, and I've gone on 2 trips with it, but it feels really unstable. Is it because I'm not used to it? Well, Chester, well, you're in luck because I've been on that kayak before, and I believe it might be because you aren't used to it. Yes, because if I remember that kayak correctly, it's a pretty large kayak. It's like a battleship or an aircraft carrier. It's a big one. Now, why might it be unstable? Things other than you just maybe not being used to it. It could be the fact that maybe you're a little top heavy. I don't know. Is your seat extra high? I don't know. Are you standing up and it's unstable? Maybe you have a lot of gear on the top deck that might make it more top heavy, but I doubt that. But something that you can do to try to eliminate some of that unsteadiness is if you do have some gear, store it down in the hull of it. Try to get some of that weight down low. That can help a little bit. Not like a super bunch unless you just really have a bunch down there. But other than that, just I don't. It's kind of hard to give advice on how to balance, right? Other than I think a lot of it is just getting comfortable, right? A lot of it is up here, believe it or not. So if you can just get comfortable and not really think about it much, because I know that there's times when I've been on a paddleboard or something that's pretty unstable, like my my Hyper race board. It's really narrow. There's times that if I'm thinking about it, I'm unstable and I'm not doing really good. But then if I kind of zone out, or I'm really concentrating on the horizon, or just not thinking about falling, when I do just fine. So a lot of it can be in our head, right? So there you go. I kind of hope that helps. That's kind of a tough one to answer though. But so basically, what you can do is lower your center of gravity and try to just settle in and be comfortable. All right, let's see here. John Morrison asks, he says, Rocca Dock plans, ? Yeah, we've got a lot of Rocca Dock plans. We're planning on making it happen. It is October 30th through September 4th, and registration opens in like a month or so, a month and a half or something like that. And I'm totally looking forward to that, and we should be having a great time there. Just, I can't wait for it to get here. But if you're asking like about the virus and stuff, I think we're going to be okay with the virus. I know that the city who runs the park where we are hosting the event, that they are still on board with us having the event, so that is a wonderful thing. So it should be good to go, and I hope to see you there, John. All right, next question is from King Rex. He says, with owning an ISUP, is there any particular care that they need to not get damaged or things to watch out for? It's an interesting question. Great question. I mean, other than the obvious, King, no, there isn't. Other than just sharp things like I don't know what your where you paddle at, but be sure you don't ground your board on an oyster bed or drive it over or drag it over something, just some sharp rocks. Other than that, just the obvious. I'm telling you the truth. I think an inflatable paddleboard might be tougher and more resilient to wear than a hardboard. They're definitely a lot more resilient than most of your surfboard style hardboards. Those things will scratch and nick in a heartbeat and dent and ding in a heartbeat. Now your heavy plastic ones that are a bit like kayaks, those are pretty strong too, but you can still scratch those up. You can still, if you drag those on concrete or asphalt, you can still wear holes through them. You can still scratch them on rocks. But believe it or not, the inflatable paddleboards are so tough. It is crazy how tough they are. I'm telling you the truth. So no, other than that, no, there's not really things to watch out for. I mean, they're crazy tough. I mean, they're awesome. Try one. I mean, there's a reason I have 5 and I have no other paddleboards, right? All right, let's see here. Chronic Awareness, he comments back to Chester, who's asking about the stability. He says, practice makes perfect. He's absolutely right. Practice makes perfect. And with that practice, you get more comfortable. And with that comfort, changes things up here, and you'll mellow out, and you'll be good to go. All right, next question is from Four-Wheel Jeeper. Trip, did you ever get some new fishing rods? Sort of. Always enjoy the catch and cooks you did. Yeah, like the 1 or 2. I want to try it, and I think they stopped making the Quattro grill. What's your favorite packable grill so far? Yes, you're right. They did stop making the Quattro grill. Did I get any new fishing rods? No, I really didn't, other than I have that one that I got at iCast a few years ago that I've only used a handful of times. It's a Casking. It's not an expensive rod, but it is very nice to me because I've never had anything other than like a Zepco or an old open face reel or bait caster. So it's really nice. So about the grill, I like this question. Yes, I do have a new grill that I used. When did I use it? I think I first used it on the Santa Fe. Is that when I used it first? On the Santa Fe River, and it's the one that folds up. It's the grill. No, it's not the Grill Put Quattro. That's the one you asked about. What is it called? I forgot about it. Forgot the name of it. Goodness gracious, I'm horrible. Gorilla? No, I forgot it. But anyways, it's this one that like folds up, it expands and contracts. It's really pretty cool, and I think I might like it better than the Grill Put Quattro because the Quattro is cool. I mean, I love the grill. And I didn't know this, but the only thing that I don't like about it now, after using the other one, is just taking it apart and putting it back together. It went together well, and it stayed together fine, but it was kind of, a chore, and taking it apart after you used it, everything was just dirty and nasty. With this other one, man, what is that grill called? I can't remember. But the other one is great. You don't have to put things together. It's all together. It like folds like a transformer, and it opens up, and it's great. How can I not remember that grill? Silly me. I will. I don't know. You can watch that Santa Fe River video, and you should see it. But it will be coming up for sure in some of my future videos because I've been wanting to grill so bad with that grill. Because I haven't really cooked much in any of my recent videos, but it's getting warmer now. I'm ready to go catch some crabs, and there are some plans in the works to make that happen. Maybe even a night crabbing trip. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, let's see here. I like it when it's sunny. Asks. I bet you've influenced a lot of equipment sales. I know that I bought a Blackfin XL because of your review. That's awesome. Is it worth doing some survey on Facebook or something to get that data? Is it worth me doing the survey on Facebook to get that data to present that data to one of the companies to try and get a sponsorship or something? I don't know, maybe. I mean, really and truly, that's not my primary motive, or that's not motive. That's not my primary goal. It's not to get sponsored, really and truly, because I like having the freedom of not being sponsored, so I can use whatever gear I want. I can do whatever type of adventure I want. I'm not tied down to any certain thing. Like if, let's say I was sponsored by Blackfin, which would be pretty awesome, really and truly, would I feel obligated to make videos only on my Blackfin SUP, and would I feel obligated to make videos that fit what I can do on that SUP? Yeah, I probably would feel that way because if someone was trusting me and supporting the channel financially, a company I would want to do everything I can to do right by that channel and by the funds that they're supporting the channel with, But I like to have the freedom to do whatever I want, whatever I'm passionate about. If I want to get on my skiff or get on a kayak or rent a kayak, or if I want to go rent a little bitty tiny houseboat, or if I want to do whatever, go just camp in the woods or go backpacking or climb up in a treehouse, or I don't know. I want to be able to do that. So that's why I enjoy not having a sponsor. Because really and truly, I have turned down some sponsors. Granted, none of them have been big like that, but I have turned down some companies who wanted to give me money and product to promote their stuff, but I haven't done it because I don't know, it just didn't feel right. But I would rather have a audience supported channel like through Patreon or something like that, or through selling t-shirts or coming to Rocca Dock. If I could have those things support the channel, then I could do what I'm passionate about and make those types of adventures and videos, which I think if you're doing what you're passionate about, I think that directly transfers to your audience and they get passionate about it too, or they can really just see the truth and honesty in your videos, which is what my videos are, and I think that is the best thing. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, it might be valuable to do the survey if I was going after sponsorships. So it's kind of a long-winded answer there for you. All right, let's see. What's up, Universal Horse? Good to have you here. All right, next question is from Madsy Woo. Madsy says, "Hi Trip, does the Blackfin XL carbon rail make that much difference? Kind regards from sunny England." Now let's see here. Now Madsy is probably asking that question because that's the main difference that is one of the big differences between an iRocker and a Blackfin. So that's what makes the Blackfin, one of the things that make the Blackfin more expensive. So is there a big difference? I can't answer that question, and I really want to know the answer to that question. And I have been tossed around the idea of contacting them and say, hey, will y'all send me out an iRocker or send me out that $350 nautical board and let me compare it to this Blackfin? Because I think that would be valuable. Because for some people, that the $350 board nautical would be a good board, or the $650 iRocker would probably be a good board. And I would like to see if it makes a difference too, because I've thought about it. Whenever I first got the board, I was like, man, look at that gimmick. I got a carbon rail in it. Fantastic. Well, and then I started doing more research, and I saw that is like one of the big differences in those boards. And then I kind of did some research on inflatable paddle boards and how they're constructed and all the different layers. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe that carbon layer, maybe it does make a difference. So I don't know. I wish I could answer your question, and hopefully I can in the near future. I need to shoot the owner over there at iRocker a message and shoot him an email and see if I can get that going. Thanks for the question. I'm going to copy your copy this, Control C, and I'm going to use that and send it to him and say, hey, look, I've got the people asking a question. Hey, I think I'm just the guy to answer it. Will you send me a board? All right. Next person is Craig Cross. I believe this is a question. It's not a question, but it's a good comment. It says, hey, Trip, I'm a longtime back yacker. Oh, cool. And new to your stuff. Thanks for doing what you do. Your videos are helping to make it easier through quarantine. That's awesome. Living vicariously through your adventures. Well, hey, I'm glad to hear that, Craig. And I hope we all get out of this quarantine quicker than we got in it, which I don't think that'll happen. It came pretty quick. All right. Next question is Ken Delaney. Says, oh, snap. Can you tell us how to do a Patreon thingy? I'm a dork, LOL. Yeah, kind of like me, like they called me. What is Super Chat? Does that financially benefit the channel? Good questions, Ken. All right, I will address the Super Chat first. Yes, that does financially benefit the channel. But, like all things, someone is shaving some money off of the top. So let's say someone makes a $5 Super Chat. I think the way that revenue share goes is 40% of that goes to YouTube and like 60% of it goes to the creators. So basically, when you're doing a super chat, I'm super grateful, but a lot of it goes to YouTube. If you do $5, what's that, like $2 goes to YouTube? That's quite a bit, that you lose just for doing that, and you're being so gracious to do something like that. Now Patreon is kind of the same thing, but I think the revenue share there is like under 10%. It may even be like under 5%. So both of those are options, but then another option is like just through PayPal. I have a little PayPal thing set up. I think it's at tripsmith.live/donate, I believe it is. And you can go there and you can actually just send money direct. I don't think PayPal takes a dime of it, so that is another option. But one of the good things about Patreon is it sets it up to be a monthly thing, so that you don't have to worry about doing it, and you can set it up to be as little as $1 a month. Which, could you imagine if 10% of my audience signed up for $1 per month? That's super cheap. And what I have like 45,000 subscribers. What would that be? $4,500 a month. Wow! Think of what the channel could do with that. But Patreon just makes it easy, so it's kind of a reoccurring payment, and you don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. And I don't know, but yeah, to do Patreon, you just go over to patreon.com/tripsmith. There's usually a link in all my video descriptions. You can check it out there. And I have a video there that kind of explains things and it kind of walks you through it. But if you do have any questions and would like to be part of the Patreon family, shoot me an email, a message, whatever you want to do, and I can talk you through it, Ken. I appreciate you being interested in supporting the channel. All right, next question is DJ Kaiser. How is your Ingle holding up? Looking for a lightweight box to sit on my sub. That's an interesting question, DJ, because just a few of these reply lines ago, maybe like episode 5, I did have my Ingle cooler. I was talking about it in here, and I had it sitting right here. And I haven't used it in quite a while because just typically I don't use a cooler that much. And if I do, it's not that one, and blah, blah, blah. How is it holding up? It's holding up good. It works and functions just as well as it did the first day I bought it. I would imagine just it's white, so the top of it's kind of kind of dirtied, and I tried to clean it the other day and didn't get really clean, so it's not as pretty as it was. And it's only been sitting in my shop, so it has gotten dust on it, and I guess it just got stained somehow. I don't know, because it's kind of dingy, it's tan instead of being white, even though I really tried to clean it with a good stiff bristle brush. But that, and also my thoughts on it are, it's probably not 100% waterproof, because the actual top of it, you can see where it kind of curls up on the sides and probably doesn't make a perfect seal. And I've never tested it, but those are my thoughts. I don't think it's the best thing out there, but it is really good if you just want to seat on an inflatable paddleboard, because it is so lightweight and you still can seal it and lock it. And the good thing about an inflatable paddleboard is usually they don't flip, so you can still use it even if it doesn't seal perfectly, and you're probably going to be fine, right? All right, folks. Hey, thank y'all for being here. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know I certainly did. I appreciate you folks being here, and all of you guys who are just using this to get yourself through this quarantine, right? Because we're all struggling with that. All right, folks. Take care. I appreciate your questions, and I will see you guys in the next reply line. Thank y'all for being part of this. All right, folks. Let me see if I can stop this stream. Take care of yourselves. God bless.